Hit the button, Rosie. Hey guys, good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope everybody's doing amazing. We're gonna sing a little song for you this morning. Friday night, hey, just got paid. Y'all remember when you used to get paid and like couldn't nobody tell you nothing
Nothing.
I used to take my club clothes to work.
because you got your paycheck?
Pep in your step. Yes.
Couldn't nobody tell, like Kanye say, wait till I get my money right. People
Boy,
can't tell me nothing, right? You get that paycheck, baby, and you just felt rich.
Mhm.
and it,
And after you got through shuffling them bills and cutting them like a deck of cards, and sometimes you have to cut them twice. When you got through dealing them dollars, you almost felt like, why? Why did I work for them 2 whole weeks?
and
Have
here
you
come
ever felt like that?
and here come Monday morning, you going back to work with your head down, a hump in
With
your
your head
back,
hung down, right?
feeling real
Had
down.
to borrow some dollars for
Go.
gas.
Oh,
Yep.
you can go.
You done
So
sliced and diced that paycheck up so thin, and then
Rob Peter.
I'm gonna take a piece for me. Like that
A
means
little,
somebody was short. Oh,
little,
okay.
For
little piece
sure,
of
Rob Peter
Julian
to pay
cabbage.
Paul.
baby, I wasn't even robbing Peter to pay Paul. I was like Beyonce and Jay-Z, baby. I was on the run.
It's
I was
me
robbing
again,
banks to pay banks. You know what I mean?
huh?
Because, it just never was enough. And I never understood that no matter what I did or how many raises I got or how many jobs I worked, it was just never enough. So, likewise, as a business owner, hold on, you got the wrong, let me put the right banner up for you.
Oh, okay. Oh, master your problem.
Likewise, as a business owner, I had to come to realize that if I don't show up every day in my business, understanding where my next dollar is coming from, there will be no automatic payday.
That's right.
Now,
Yeah.
if that, good morning, Miss Joanne. If that was an epiphany for some of you guys, say me. Because see, what happened was we got accustomed to automatic paychecks. We got accustomed to that. Don't get me wrong, we was working like dogs for that 40-hour paycheck. And don't be on salary, because when you on salary, you gonna work 50 or 60 hours for that same amount paycheck. But we knew it was coming.
Mhm.
So we've got to have the discipline, especially as entrepreneurs, to say, you know what, I'm okay exchanging this automatic go for broke paycheck with a sporadic but potentially way more work for myself paycheck. And it's just it's they can see me when you walk past me. And it's just the truth. So, and I'm gonna let y'all speak on that. I think we get comfortable with a paycheck, regardless as to what the amount is.
We absolutely get comfortable because we know it's coming. Two, I think, and y'all can respond to this. I think we make our lives fit into the amount of our paycheck
Absolutely.
instead of
We
the other
absolutely
way
do.
around.
Yep.
We
Mhm.
absolutely do.
Yeah.
We have big dreams. We know we sit down, we talk to our families, or we talk to ourselves and say, "This is what I want to do this year. This is what I want to do this month." Then we cut and shuffle them bills and notice, oh, we may not be able to do that this month. But instead of shuffling some other things around, we go ahead and we just fit within the paycheck that we have, instead of looking at a way to grow beyond that to meet what we want to do. What y'all
And I
think?
see so many individuals that are quick to say, I can't afford. And, I always tell people, like the Lord told Moses, what's in your hand? And I can't remember a time where I wasn't generating some extra money. But here's the thing, in order for me to generate it, I got to do something. So I'm not going to have a next dollar unless I take a next action. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm not going to have a next dollar. I'm not going to have enough if I don't sell some plates, or if I don't sell some cakes, or if I don't do something extra. And the truth of the matter is, at some point, we got to get tired of doing extra and say, and that was what happened with me. I said, if I'm going to do all this extra, I might well get out here and make this my main thing. Why am I working a job and having to do extra too? That's just not fair.
Right.
Right.
That is
So at one point, even the Bible says you can't serve two masters. One of y'all gonna have to go.
absolutely, and that is so true. That is so true, because I found, and I found when I was trying to work my business and go to work, I go to work tired. I'm sitting at the desk with my stuff up on the computer on one screen, their stuff on another screen. I'm trying to toggle between the two, and finally, it's like, I don't want to work this hard. I just don't want to do that. Then here come my employer, and I love him to death. But then I'm looking at him like, I hate you, because this is your business that I'm trying to make work for you. You come sit on the sofa, and you want to talk about everything under the sun, and I'm telling you, I got work to do, but it's your work. Now,
Let me tell you something. I was never mad at my boss. I was mad at myself
Mm.
because I realized that I put myself in that position and that it was my choice. And that what we got to realize is we have a choice every day. We can either get up and promote our business or get up and go to a job. And so many of us are afraid to promote our businesses that the job takes over. And I don't know, but I don't know why. I don't know.
society programming. I mean, you've been taught from the cradle. You saw your parents go to work. You saw them come home tired. You heard them tell you, if you get you a good education, get you a good job, you won't have to work as hard as I do or as we did. You could do better than us, but you got to get you a good education, get you a good job. They never said get you a good education
No,
or
but
get
hold on. I'm gonna play devil's advocate
come on, coach.
because we say that. We say we do this because we listen to our parents. But I venture to guess that everybody on this screen has dated some dude their parents didn't like. I venture to guess everybody on this screen done did something that their parents didn't like. So why are we so hard and fast on this one thing our parents taught us, right? And y'all following me? So we can't just pick and choose. We can't pick and choose. Well, my mama taught me, so no.
Or is it just easier to go get a job, get a paycheck, know that it's coming, and make your life conform to it?
Right.
It probably was normal, I would think, because that's probably more of what a lot of people see. So even if it comes down to we're not listening to, our parents per se, we think about everybody who we see and what they see doing them. So like back in the 90s, right when I was heading off to college, my dad started a business, and he intentionally started it with the intent that when he retired from work, he would have something full time. Okay. Well, as far as people that look like us, it wasn't a lot of other people that was necessarily doing that. And I can't necessarily say, just a little different in our culture, that it was put like it's the family business versus some other cultures that, everybody gonna be working that. But that is something that he did, preparing for tomorrow. So then that model, was there and it was open. But that was by the time I was 18. I had all these other years of seeing, and I was living with grandparents. So, seeing them go and, they were good, like Blacks couldn't get these jobs. So you need to be happy and, get your schooling. And these are people who had a 3rd grade and a 6th grade education. So much so that when, I got my first job making $3.35 an hour, don't talk about my age, then I was grateful, like so grateful, like, every time I elevate, I was so grateful because according to what they said, this is an opportunity for Blacks. That's until I went to the ATL. Because sometimes you just need to see something different. My city is, 30% Black. And like I said, it wasn't a lot of that. But I went down to the ATL and I was like, oh, I had no idea. Everywhere I turned, there was professional, people who look like me. And what it did was it raised my eye gates. Like, I was able to, like if a dog, you're trained to see an eye dog, you have to get him to stop looking down and to look up. And that personally did for me. It raised my eye gate. So now I can say, okay, there is something that, not just only my dad doing, but everybody could do, my age, younger, above me, and it's something I can work toward.
Absolutely. So what you're saying is maybe what you need to do is look beyond your environment and,
yes,
see what others are doing and how they're doing it. Because I'm sure when you went to the ATL and saw all of those that look like us doing well, doing well in their pursuits, or if they weren't doing well, they looked as if they were doing well. And that tend to elevate your thinking on how are they doing that. I didn't know that.
But we also got a Bible that tells us it's possible. So I don't want to miss out on the original conversation between us and our Creator, who talks about the plans that He has for our life and how He been making these plans since before my mama knew me. He was making plans for me. So I think we can't ignore the fact that we quote these scriptures, but we don't walk them out.
Be it unto your faith. That is the 100% the reality of a lot. There's hundreds of promises in the Bible, but a lot of times, a lot of believers, they are able to believe for some, but not necessarily for others, or maybe have the thought that, well, yeah, that's so not for me, not realizing that we're all king kids, and that inheritance is ours. Wealth is everyone's birthright, but there comes a process where, your mind have to be renewed in that area.
Yeah.
So you're absolutely right about that, Coach.
Yeah.
You have to renew that mind daily.
Absolutely. Daily. Mm-hmm.
And that's where your reading comes in at. That's where your research comes in at. That's where your quiet time comes in at. Because it's not always about run. You have to sit back, step back, and take the time to hear which direction He wants you to go in. And you have to ask Him, what do you want me to do? How do you want me to approach this situation? And I think a lot of times we don't do that. We just keep moving. And we lose sight of the quiet time and the renewing of the mind. What y'all think?
And I think that's a lot where that strategy come in at. because when God said to Moses, what is in your hand, I'm sure he physically knew that this tool was in his hand, but what he didn't have was revelation of the strategy of how to execute that. And I think that is that place of, feeling like you're stuck, or feeling, it's a lot of things. I think Moses' thing was feeling like he wasn't enough. So even though he had the very tool that could change, his lives, set 1,000 of other people free, might have been a million, he yet did not know how to use the very thing that God put in his hand.
Yeah.
You know what? This just hit me. So when God asked Moses, what's in your hand? And Moses looked and saw what he had in his hand. But like you said, he didn't know the revelation of how big what he had in his hand was until God pushed him to take the steps he's telling him to take. So what you're saying is Moses had a coach even back there to gain wise counsel to move forward.
He did. The coach. He had a coach. He had a team.
So this has been going on since before the beginning of time.
The blueprint is there. I mean, the blueprint is 100% there. Sometimes we just need the revelation of how it is to apply toward our lives, during our time. But, sometimes you realize how people think. But I can tell you that every move and direction that you get, for me at least, that comes from the Father. I have to hear his direction. And sometimes it could be something you done struggled over for, you had it literally in focus. So, that is the master coach. And we put it that way for sure. Absolutely. To give you the strategy and direction. Now, action steps is on us,
Exactly.
But that vision, that's coming from above.
That's right. So see, when we say, plan your profits, come to the master your profits retreat, $39, get wise counsel. It's not something that we're just making up out of the blue. It's something that's been there since the beginning of time. And now we're putting action to what has been downloaded, what has been there since the beginning of time. So see, if you go to bit.ly, master your profit, sign up for the Plan Your Profits retreat. It's not something that is made up. It's something that's necessary. It's something that puts a plan in your hand. It puts a plan in your hand to move what's in your head and in your heart forward. What y'all think?
I absolutely love that process, or that thought process of putting the plan, in your hand, because we kind of was on that analogy of talking about Moses, but he literally had a plan. He knew every single step of what he was going to do. So he consulted the Father, and he knew everything that was going to happen as far as how, what plagues were going to come and how he was going to eventually lead these people free. And then once they got free, and it got to be so many of them, he's spending all day with all this counseling. He then gets wise counsel and gets another plan for how he's going to divide the people and set them in tribes and troops. So, literally, how we are literally getting this plan for what we're going to do with our money, and then, how we're going to bring in the additional streams. It's just all in the blueprint. You just have to have your mind renewed to understand, to say this word is relevant to me in this day today.
Absolutely, because each time he made an extra step along that blueprint, he went back to his wise counsel. Mm-hmm. Wise counsel said, do this, 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 and this. He went back and did that, and that. And each time he said, let my people go. Mm-hmm. Pharaoh said no. He went back to the Father. The Father said, do this, 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 and this. And a lot of times we have to follow the process. And I think we get hung up sometimes when we don't see the process working as quick as we think it should work. But you got to follow
Yes.
the process and the plan.
You are absolutely correct on that. I think that sometimes we try to, maybe you could say a jump process or skip process, when not really understanding that it's like it took all of that literally to get you to where you are today. So there really and truly is no big part or no small part of process, but yet we kind of think that we can, okay, I'll just skip and I'll move past this, or I got this part, and expect the same resolve, of someone or who has done every single step along the way. And so that's why I think, this part of planning your profits is absolutely so key. If this was part of the process that somebody did not do in January, they just went forward with with their vision, or maybe they just didn't stick to the plan that they did do. That's still not going with the process. Then this is an absolute time for a reset and a renewal of your mind, of your plan, all of the above. So bit.ly/master your profit, only $39. And we are saying only because that it is invaluable to literally truly have, this part of the blueprint in place.
Well, I look at, I look at the numbers because it's an investment. It's not a cost. It's an investment. It's an investment in your business. So that becomes a line item expense, but I'm not going to go all into that. But the only thing I am going to say, and I want you all to weigh in on this, you invest $39, okay, and you make $40. So you $1 in profit. Mm-hmm. Okay, now I'm just saying $1 in profit. That could be your first dollar you put in a frame and put up on the wall. Or you can invest $39 and say in a week's time you make $390. You still ahead of the game. Mm-hmm. Still continuously moving forward with something new that has been placed in your hand. Mm-hmm. That you may have been putting your numbers on paper the first quarter, but you didn't come anywhere close to them. But now you attend this profit planning retreat and you have a concrete process that you can work, that you can see to get you to the goal that you set. So why wouldn't you do it? Why wouldn't you at least give it a shot? Even if you didn't think it would work, still give the process a chance to work.
Right. To me, it sounds like a win. I don't see even how it could. Go ahead, Ms. Ferlin.
I was just saying, that's the thing. Sometimes we get anxious and we just want it to happen right now. Mm-hmm. And so when we want it to happen right now, we don't have time to trust the process because we want it right now. Mm-hmm. But you have to plan, like Coach tells us all the time. You have to plan. And then when you start seeing the profit, you have to get your money in assignment.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Even that $1 ahead, Rosie, can make a difference. Mm-hmm. All depends on how you look at that $1.
Mm-hmm. Because if you reinvest that $1 back into your business, then the next go round you may come out with $5.
Right.
And one thing Coach says, and I so agree with, never despise small beginnings, because you have to start somewhere. And I think sometimes we get, well, I ain't gonna say sometimes, I get caught in, like you said, I want it right now. So when I make the $5, I kind of poo-poo the $5 because I wanted the $500.
Right.
But if you haven't done $500 worth of work, then how are you going to get that? But if you keep reinvesting the small wins, you get to the big wins. Right. But you have to start somewhere. And I think because we want it right now, we forget to start or we neglect to start. Mm-hmm. I know that had been one of my problems. I'm not afraid to admit it.
Well, think about that foundation, that really and truly you are laying. So if you were in a place that you took these particular steps and you were able to yield $5 for, so now that you know that, to me, it seems like the only place to go from there is up. So maybe if you go ahead and, wash, rinse, and repeat. Did I get that right? I think I said it right. You do the same steps again, then maybe next time it'll be $50, and next time it'll be, you'll be 500, next time be 5,000. So, it has that starting place, but sometimes we get frustrated and we just kind of toss it and throw it to the side. And, that's probably a lot of people who are watching now. It's March and you already sat down, tossed a little vision up in a ball and put it in the little trash can, and not even realizing that $5 was just your starting point. Your 500 is tomorrow. It's probably as simple as a plan.
Absolutely. And you know how they say, it gets the roughest right before you get to your victory or right before you get to your win. So you made that big resolution in January. Here we are now in March. It's not happening. Like you said, you balled it up and threw it in the trash. But if you had only came back tomorrow, what would have happened if you came back tomorrow and tried again? And Elise, yes, this is the same event Coach was talking about earlier about the high price of not charging enough. Same thing. If you don't charge enough, then the investment that you make may not garner you what you need. Absolutely. So go to bit.ly/master your profit. Come to the profit planning retreat. Instead of just putting numbers on a piece of paper and not having a plan on how to make those numbers work, it's time to make the numbers work for your benefit, for your legacy, for the times that we are in, so that the next time something happens, because there'll be a next time, you'll be ready. There's always a next time. But you'll be ready.
You'll be ready.
Absolutely.
The numbers do add up.
One way or the other.
One way or the other. They add up.
They can either add up for you or they can add up against you. And I'm sure a lot of people feel like, I've tried this. I've done this. And such told me I'd be great at this, and I tried it. It did not work. It added up against me. Well, come to the retreat. Give it a shot so that you can have a concrete process so that it can add up for you.
You know how many times people have tried something and it didn't work the first time? You know how many inventions we would not have if someone just said, I tried it and it didn't happen? I mean, the vacuum man who with 700 sometime, the Wright brothers. Yeah. I mean, so, I think what something I professionally always say in my life, that God is a God of second chances, and it really second, third, fourth, fifth, but, if God is willing to give us chances, why wouldn't we do the same thing for ourselves? Sometimes you have to be the one who believe in you. It might not be anyone there, but that fact that, you have something that's in your heart, and even if it's not looking the way you think that it should, then, sometimes you're going to have to, believe and try again, So that's why I think it's so important for you to, make this be, for those of you who that's the case, is make this be, your time of a second chance, and, get that plan for your profit so that you have a clear focus and a complete reset of how you're going to go about getting your money in, 2021. So bit.ly/master your profit.
Absolutely. And become a master over your profits and over your revenue. Because that is being a good steward over what God has entrusted you with.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think I think when we give up just before we get the win, we are throwing in the trash what God has entrusted for us. We're telling him we don't trust you enough to be able to trust ourselves enough.
Ooh, yeah.
To move forward. What y'all think?
That's right, Rosie. I agree. It's like, I have faith this is going to work. I have faith this is going to work, but do you trust the process? Because, see, sometimes that process can be very, very uncomfortable.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Very uncomfortable.
All because we're learning and we're being stretched. And when you start out, you don't know it all. You don't have the answers. And when you were speaking about the checks, how we live in the confines of our checks, because they was like, don't let your, what you say about your britches or whatever, that old saying,
don't get
bigger than your britches. But
what's the saying?
I think they were like that, and they taught us like that because they didn't want us to have more than money. And we still have more than money anyway. Mm-hmm. At the end of it's like we always have. Mm-hmm. Until you learn that there is a better way. Mm-hmm. That you don't have to live in the confines. You don't have to live in that little box. Okay, you made X amount of dollars. You stay right here. You stay right here. Okay, because you met all your needs and da-da-da-da-da. There's no room for extra. I'm going to stay right here until this time next month. And I'm going to do the same thing. But you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. And help is available. You can go to bit.ly, master your profit, and to sit under wise counsel and learn. Yeah, it's $39. But that's an investment in your business. That's a seed sown in your business. That's a seed sown in you. I don't know.
And that's just something we have to learn how to do. You realize that whatever you sow, you will reap, and that's good and bad. If you sow in action, then you're not going to reap a harvest. But you really and truly have to learn. I mean, we sow seeds into other stuff, I see somebody. People? Yeah, other people, the stuff that material things, so you have to realize that, at some point, your portion is just not going to fall on you. You're going to have to actually, take some extra steps in order to, receive that. And so I don't know a farmer who is not out there, in the plows. And then after they go ahead and they toil the ground and they they drop the seeds in there, then what are they doing? They're out there and they're watering it, and then they're out there and they making sure the fertilizer is there. They keeping the animals away from them. They putting fences, so I'd have named off 10 things, and look, I could only go for my little garden. We had a garden. We didn't have no farm, and there's probably 17 other things that you need to do. And so it's like being able to have a plan for your profits. Yes, your business is started, and yes, maybe you might have even had a decent quarter, but do you know, where you were here with your quarter? It can go all the way here. So, come and see to make sure that you're not leaving money on the table and that you are planning to get the maximum, amount of profits.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And what is that when you're in that garden and you're farming and all of that, you are nurturing your crop.
Oh, yeah.
You can't just throw it in the ground, walk away from it, because the rabbits will come along and try to eat it. The weeds will come along. I remember working in the garden. You had to go out there pulling weeds and, make sure that you growing watermelon, you got to turn them so they don't get rotten on one side and all. You got to put in some work with your garden. And look at your business as your garden. Elise says $39 a week is a week's worth of Starbucks. Give up Starbucks 1 week to elevate. Now, you could do that. My thing is, I don't drink coffee, but whatever it is I do on a weekly basis, I don't want to give it up. So I know that I need to find me some profits so I can grow my business and keep my weekly habit. Luckily, my weekly habit don't cost nothing because I like to go to sleep. But yet and still, I can't sleep all day and not put any time into my
Right.
business. So, there's a sacrifice, there's a give and take, there's a balance, regardless of what it is you like to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you do more on this side than you do on this side, the scale is going to adjust. It's going to be like that, but you can always bring it back because it's a daily struggle. It's a constant learning of the process. But mastering that money, that's a big part of the process.
Mm-hmm. So I thought about something. So you were talking about, nurturing that garden, right? So did you ever just think sometime that, can we just be kids? Because the other kids was out there playing and doing stuff, and you come on in here and shut this cord, and
come on in here and grab these.
Did he ever do? But what that kind of reminds me of is that some things, I mean, our parents and grandparents might not have had everything, but there are just some things that they put in our core values that are really and truly just relevant. So they put it in us, literally, that, the fruit that you're expecting to yield is going to require some things for you. So I really and truly like that you put that out, so that we can apply that even with what we're doing today. We're going to have to nurture that process of, make sure we have that plan.
Mm-hmm. Fall in love with your business.
Yeah.
Fall in love with your ideas. Fall in love with your ideas in your business like you fall in love with that man, or like you fell in love with that man, and like you're still in love with him. Fall in love with it like that and see what it produces for you. And if you don't have a man, fall in love with it anyway and let that be the practice for when you get one. We're going to go ahead and get out of here, y'all, because I'm starting to go left here. Because I can come up with some analogies on that one. Fall in love with your business and interject your profits into this season of your process, because it's all in seasons. You're going to ebb, you're going to flow. It's a constant back and forth. Master your profit. It is something that doesn't just serve you for now. It can serve you throughout the life of your business. What y'all want to tell them as we wrap up? Before I start singing.
Oh, no. Okay, come on. Let's jump in here. We can't have you singing, Rose. We warned you at the beginning of the podcast.
Yeah, you told me not to sing.
But we just would like to have you to go to bit.ly, master your profit, and come to the Profit Planning Retreat. It's always amazing. Always.
It is.
There's so much knowledge, and you will really find out how much you really don't know, how much you missing. Like Coach said, how much you leaving on the table. How much money you kicking around on the ground, picking up coins, stepping over money bags. You don't know how much you don't know until you sit under wise counsel. So why don't you join us on Sunday? Because we'll be there too. We're not exempt.
That's right.
We'll be there too, gaining all the knowledge and reaping. And that's what it's about. Sowing and reaping, like Sister Alicia said. And it's for you. It's for you. So bit.ly, master your profit. It's Sunday evening. This coming Sunday, day after tomorrow, March 14th. At 7 p.m. CST. We look forward to seeing you there, and we greatly appreciate you staying with us this morning and listening and sharing. Have a wonderful, wonderful Friday, a blessed weekend, and we hope to see you Sunday night. Thank you for joining the BYOB Morning Show. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.